Hi, everyone, and welcome to the presentation of our blended wine tasting meeting. My name's Lindsay, and now we're going to go around and have the rest of the group introduce themselves.
My name is Ashley.
My name is Megan.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Bert.
So first we're going to start off with some background info. So for the definition of a meeting is an event where the primary activity of the participants is to attend educational sessions, participate in discussions, social functions, or attend other organized events. And our event will be a one-day wine tasting and pairing meeting at Cass Winery. And for our objectives, we want to make sales, give a tour of the winery, educate individuals on the wine industry, winemaking process, and wine tasting etiquette, as well as provide opportunities for networking. And for the history of Cass Winery, so Cass Winery was born out of Alice and Steve Cass's attempt to find a second home in Paso Robles. And the property was planted in 2000 with the help of a real estate agent and a grape grower. And when the vineyard began to grow fruit in 2003, the barn was converted into a tasting room, and Cass Winery opened its doors to the public in May of 2005. And here is a visual illustration of what our event would look like.
So now I want to talk a little bit about our decision-making process behind this meeting. So when we thought about the details of our blended wine tasting event, we immediately thought of the Central Coast. The AVA, or American Viticultural Area, in Paso Robles is the largest designated winemaking area in America. So the Central Coast wine region is not only world-renowned, but it's also absolutely beautiful. So really, we figured there was no better place to host this meeting. And then as for the event's feasibility, we needed a space at a winery that was suitable for dining, touring a winemaking facility, and hosting educational components. So we decided on Cass Winery because they can fit 250 people in their event space, and they have a great space for educational settings. In addition, there are also lots of lodging places nearby and a local airport in San Luis Obispo for out-of-town visitors. So now going into the meeting specifications, for our meeting profile, the purpose of this meeting is to educate people on the winemaking industry, educate them on wine pairing, as well as etiquette in a fun and welcoming environment. So really the main focus here is on education for our attendees, but given the nature of the event, fun and leisure are a close second focus. So as for our attendees, first of all, everyone there will be over 21. In order to participate in the day's events, this is really the only requirement. And so in order to minimize risk, we'll have to make sure the attendees confirm their age upon registration. And when they arrive at the check-in space, we will do an ID check for everyone there. Besides this, we also expect our attendees to be people who are newer to the wine industry and looking to learn more about it and experience it in a fun way. So with this in mind, we expect about half women and half men at the event. And we don't anticipate either one of these demographics being more or less interested. So we believe that they'll attend in roughly equal numbers. In addition, we also expect some guests will be more motivated by the fun aspect than the educational component. And so these people will likely be locals or college students looking for a weekend activity. And finally, the event will take place on June 19th, which is especially ideal for our college demographic as they'll be out on summer break.
So our marketing strategy will pertain to two different groups of people. The first is college students, ages 21 to 26, and the second is adults, ages 27 to 50. We'll be considering these two different groups because certain posts and promotions will look different depending on each group. And we'll be targeting the Central Coast and still expecting people from Northern or Southern California as well. This event pertains to anyone still local or not who wants to learn more about the wine industry while tasting local authentic wine. And the Central Coast is perfect for this because it is notorious for its outstanding agriculture, specifically within the wine industry. And so we'll be also using different marketing tools, including our online marketing. We'll be using our own social media pages and website, as well as Cass Winery's social media pages and website. And we will be getting access to Cass Winery's email list and contacts for existing club members. And we'll be using in-person promotions, using posters around Cal Poly campus and designated areas, as well as local restaurants and bars.
There were two main reasons for our venue selection. The first being that Cass Winery is central. And what I mean by this is that it's easy for people in Northern California and Southern California to attend the event. And on the next slide, we see that we also chose Cass Winery because it not only is it a great example of an outstanding vineyard, but it also will help attendees understand how you can use the space to generate more areas of revenue. We will be partnering up with Oxford Suites in Paso Robles to accommodate all 80 of our guests that will need a room to sleep in. We will only need 57 rooms, and Oxford Suites has a total of 101 rooms.
So for venue budget, we selected Cass Winery. Our goal for this event is to make more money than we have to spend so we can have enough money set aside for emergency funds or to use for any other last minute expenses. The last thing we want is to be in any kind of sort of deficit or not have enough money set aside. As you can tell on the left, for expenses, we have a total of $105,000. And for income, we have a total of $145,000. So the subtotal of what we have left over is $40,000. That being said, for expenses included, we have venue rental, staffing, programming, which includes things like audio and visuals, food and catering. And we also have decorations, and so much more is included in this event as well, because all the small details matter in order to execute a successful event. And we want to make our attendees like top priority by providing them with the top of the line event. Meanwhile, revenue expenses will include admission registration, parking, sponsors, booth registration, as well as vendors. Overall, the main goal of this event is to make money and provide our attendees with a great opulence experience that they will always remember. And now we are going to move on to the schedule.
The schedule is broken down into 4 components. We've got hours, function, capacity, and location. So from 10 a.m. to 12:50 p.m. is kind of the introductory events of our event. And then after that, there are 4 main workshops that people will cycle through. On the next slide, you'll see that we're done with the workshops at 5:30 p.m. and then from 5:40 to 6 p.m. we will have a closing ceremony. And that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for your time.